I'm in Nigeria. I'm in Lagos. So why can't I, contest election here and win and, begin all my policies reflect the wishes and aspiration of people who are Lagosians? I wouldn't think about Abia people because I'm in Lagos. So I use the resources here to develop the environment. So the point is that the framework is key. So over the years, we begin now to attune our character, our aspiration towards the framework that has been laid. It's very,
Sorry
very
to interject.
Yes.
How do we make that framework come into being?
You said it.
Considering the situation we've had with the national conference, the confab, where some people are even willing to walk away and say, no, we will not agree to this.
Beautiful. Sasa, it's important we recognize our differences. You don't wish it away. You mentioned where, there are Yorubas, there are Igbos and all that. We come from a particular background. Now, how do you evolve those of your differences to become a national ideal? Is that I bring my difference, you understand it, you appreciate it. He brings his own and all that. You evolve it into a national ideal. All of us agree that this is the peculiar nature of a Yoruba person. I must respect it. This is a peculiar nature of an Igbo man. I must respect it. By the time it becomes a national ideal, everyone, an Hausa man, an Igbo man, begins to look at that as national because it's evolution. You must respect me. You must respect my own, culture and all that.
In return,
and you return respect. Vice versa. But it becomes a national ideal. And over the years, our children that are being born begin to recognize this is a thing that we have all agreed to stay together with and all that, and live together with. So it becomes like that. America has differences, sir. Yes. Go and look at their country and all that. There are so many, even the Indians. But the only problem is that we have the natural resource, the human resource, which should have, managed very well and, and get the best out of us. We are mismanaging it. That's why we're saying this confab presented opportunity for us to strengthen Nigeria. You need to strengthen it. And the only way to do is to run a proper federal system of government, as I rightly mentioned. Proper devolution of power.
Yes, this resource control, which you referred to, let me take it to Bala. There are some very poor states, even though we're told that every state in Nigeria has something which it can develop and live on. Correct. But the poor states are going to kick against this kind of thing. They want to keep going to Abuja every month and with a cap in their hands to collect money.
The simple reason is because, like my seniors have said, from the beginning, we are not looking at things in national interest. Because before, when this conference was convoked and it started, some of us made suggestions and came up with opinions. And some of the things we said was that people should keep primordial sentiments and self-interest when going there, right? We also suggested that when people go there, they shouldn't be too rigid. You just have to be flexible. I need to bring my philosophies, my ideologies, you bring yours. Then we will put everything in the center, synchronize them, and we should have congruency in national interest. Some of us even suggested that, when they got there, some of us suggested that they should look at even IGRs of respective states. If there is a need, come up with suggestions and see if you can collapse some states, merge some states. But we
not ask for creation of more.
No, really, because like we said, if you ask for creation of states today, in today's Nigeria, you are probably asking for political balancing. But what we need is economic balancing, adding more to the aggregate economy. So the issue of resource control, now if you look at it, it has practically shown that, Nigeria, like I said, we're only united geographically. In all other aspects, people are not ready to shift grounds. When I heard that people were talking about derivations, talking about the oil money, the first thing I said is, the money is not even there as we speak, because you have lost your biggest customer. The US said, we don't need your oil. We've taken, while you, Nigeria, you are sleeping, we carried out research and development. Yes. We developed our shale oil. We used technologies like pyrolysis, hydrogenation, and thermal dissolution we've developed. We now have proved reserve of almost 800 billion barrels, more than 3 times the reserve of Saudi Arabia. And Nigeria, you are still sleeping. We've been able to develop to the extent where we can treat this crude and make it suitable for our refineries. We can treat them, remove the sulfurs, the nitrogens, and export them. And Nigeria, you are still sleeping. So there are so many things. So for you to even be talking about monies to share, 5% to this, 5%, the money is not even there. What do you do as a monoproduct economy? The divestment people have been talking about, you thought IOs, international oil companies, are divesting. They are not actually divesting. The IOCs are leaving because of business climate hostilities. That's right. You are not developing the younger ones. There is no technology in line because your polytechnics have been shut down. These polytechnics were shut down before the delegates went to this confab. Nothing is being said about them. And the medical system is a menace. We know that. Recently we were just reviewing what happened during the Nigerian immigration exercise. And somebody said, Bala, just imagine what will have happened on that day if the guys in Kaduna said, we no agree, we no go agree. And then Abuja answers. Then Port Harcourt answers. Don't you think there will have been revolution that day? Looking at the number of Nigerians, the number of youths. So in this conference, some of us truly thought we were going to learn from some of the utterances of somebody like Sheikh Lemu, who said, some of us, our time is almost up. We are about to join the bus, heading to where we are heading. We want to bequeath the best we can for you people. And some of us truly expected that the elders that were there were going to come up with modalities of how to transit and guide the younger generations. They should be able to say, we got it wrong in these areas. Avoid the lacunas and the pitfalls. We got it right in these areas. Improve on what we were able to do and move forward. Then bless the young generations to move forward. But that's not the case today.
Okay, so having said so much about this issue, what is it that we should be expecting from the national conference? Because at some point they will have to wrap this up. They cannot go on like this forever. What is it we should be telling them to say, you guys have got to come together and make this happen? What is it we should be telling them?
Well, I think is what Bala has just said, but my fear is if that opportunity is not gone yet, because they just have next week to wrap up and deliver whatever they have. But like I said, if whatever they are delivering and true federalism is not part of, because this is what we've been talking about all this while. The reason why those who are even asking for convocation of sovereign national conference, the reason, one of the main reasons why they've been clamoring for this is for inauguration of a system that will return us back to that true federalism. Look at what the likes of Awolowo did with cocoa money in the south, in the southwest here. Look at all over the region, even the Tafawa Balewa and co. So what they did with their...
But we're not producing the volume of cocoa anymore.
We don't even need that. It is, when you even talk about the poor state, I take objection to that because no state is really poor. Exactly. It's the leadership that is poor. Now, when you have poverty of ideas, when you have poverty of ideas, people have just, abandoned what they have to embrace oil. It's good a thing that America is already rejecting us. People like us are happy. We want the rest of the world to reject our oil and see whether we will not survive. You will see it is then, when oil gets dry, it is then all the region will now come together and now face what they have abandoned all this while. I learned that Nasarawa State has over 100 natural resources untapped.
Many states have.
States, in those states, for instance, bitumen is begging to be tapped. They're oozing out on their own. Nobody is tapping, and yet we don't have roads. So, what are we talking about here?
Lazy.
They are not poor. It's poverty of idea, poverty of leadership. And because, again, maybe the federal structure, maybe the constitution does not really empower them to tap this thing. It's so cumbersome.
It doesn't encourage them.
Does it encourage them?
Because there's money coming at the end of the month.
Exactly. So that is why so many of the states are just so poor, or they seem to be poor, because they are not tapping anything that nature has bequeathed to them. These things are just wasting on their soil. And yet, we are all facing oil.
That's why we pray sincerely that oil should dry up. Okay. Because oil is the source of all this problem, all this wahala.